The woman married 5 beast husbands, yet she never consummated the marriage with any of them. All because she fell in love with another man. Even going so far as to please this married man, she not only broke the dark raven's wings, but also skinned the domineering lion beast, and threw him into a dark cell. She even stripped the mermaid prince of his scales, then sent him to the drunken immortal pavilion to be humiliated by others. Jiang Mayan, who became the rebound guy, had just transmigrated when she heard a stream of curses. How did she wake up? Truly, the wicked live 1,000 years. She doesn't want the 5 beast husbands from the imperial city, but goes to the river to seduce the duck husband of the clan leader's daughter. She should have just fallen to her death. Jiang Mayan was a bit dazed. She had just finished absorbing the memories of this body. The original owner was notorious, yet someone still saved her from the water. Jiang Mayan was grateful and coughed up the choking river water. For some reason, her vision was blurry at this moment, and she couldn't make a sound, only smiling blankly at the crowd. Amid the panicked cries that Jiang Mayan had gone mad, the sound of footsteps grew gradually clearer. Before she could react, she was enveloped by a cold aura. It was wrong of Zhao Xing to offend his wife without permission. But the wife's health is what matters. After returning home, Zhao Xing will accept his wife's punishment. Jiang Mayan recognized this as the wolf husband, Pei Zhao Xing. The Pei family line has always been loyal and righteous, protecting rulers through the generations. From birth, loyalty was ingrained in their blood. How pitiful, no matter how lowly a male beast is. There's no need for such a servile attitude. Autumn chill pierces the bones. She was dressed in fine silks. Her beast husband, covered in wounds, could only wear a thin animal hide. Those glaring whip marks look painful even to me. Jiang Mayan couldn't help but look up. A broad chest was right before her, her vision blurred. Yet she was still terrified by the large patches of bright red on Pei Zhao Xing's body. She carefully took Pei Zhao Xing's hand and wrote "sorry" on his palm. Pei Zhao Xing stiffened. In his life, he had never seen any female bow her head in apology, especially not the arrogant Jiang Mayan. But he quickly regained his composure and pulled his hand away. Sneering, he said, "Has mistress thought of some new trick? Are you making fun of us?" Remembering how she detested their touch, Pei Zhao Xing turned to leave. Jiang Mayan, frantic and sweating, could only make a few incoherent sounds. She chased after him, but tripped over an obvious obstacle in the path. Hearing the noise, Pei Zhao Xing turned back and picked some herbs for emergency treatment. "If mistress wishes to punish me, there's no need to joke with your own health. Or is it that this time you must find a reason to torture me to death?" Jiang Mayan took his hand again, quickly writing, "I was wrong before," then added, "It's getting late. We should hurry on our way." Pei Zhao Xing frowned and looked up at the darkening sun in the sky. His gaze then fell back on Jiang Mayan's vacant eyes. After the mistress fell into the water, eyes cannot see, mouth cannot speak. He whispered tentatively, with a faint hint of danger. Jiang Mayan then realized that the sky wasn't dark. She gritted her teeth and nodded, hoping only that he wouldn't press for answers, lest the matter of her time traveling be exposed. Pei Zhao Xing's eyes were sinister. He had never harbored intentions to kill Jiang Mayan, but recently, the household had been too unsettled. The lion beast was chained head to toe by her, locked in a room like a wild animal. The raven had its wings broken by her, never to fly again. The fox beast was beaten by her and sent to the clinic, still unconscious. The mermaid was sold by her for the cheapest price to the drunken immortal pavilion, left to be humiliated. If he were to be next, why not take the initiative first and strike now? Pei Zhao Xing hardened his heart, his claws about to gouge her eyes the next second. But a soft female voice suddenly intruded his mind. "System? You're saying that if I stop the beast husbands from turning dark and collect love points, my blindness and muteness can be cured? And I can even receive generous additional rewards?" Pei Zhao Xing's movements halted. This vile female clearly didn't open her mouth. Why could he hear her speaking? Congratulations, host. After multiple screenings and pairings, you have successfully bound with the beast husband system, due to your tragic death in your previous life. As long as you prevent the beast husbands from turning dark, collect love points, complete the tasks, you will obtain a healthy body and billions in assets. Jiang Mayan's face lit up with joy. But I don't need that much money returned to me. Please give me a healthy body and a house of my own. And I need to return to my world. The system agreed without another word. Alert detected. Host is currently in danger. Please reduce Pei Zhaoxing's darkening value as soon as possible. With the beep, her vision went dark again. Only then did Jiang Mayan remember there was someone beside her. She fumbled and grabbed Pei Zhaoxing's hand. How did he become a wolf? His paws are so soft. But why did his darkening value rise again? Did I upset him somehow? Pei Zhaoxing stiffened. What is she talking about? Why can't he understand her words even though they're all put together? Besides, isn't she the one who hates their beast forms the most? As if touching something she adored, Jiang Mayan wrote on his paw pad, "Can you take me home?" Pei Zhaoxing grunted in response. Before he could speak, Jiang Mayan suddenly let go. Forget it, he dislikes me so much. I hope his darkening value doesn't rise again. Pei Zhaoxing looked at his empty hand. He snorted coldly. Was she just playing with him after all? They walked home in silence. From afar, they could hear deafening low roars coming from their thatched cottage. It was the mournful cry of a large beast of prey. Jiang Mayan instinctively shrank back. System, what's going on? Jiang Mayan called out urgently. For some reason, Pei Zhaoxing was the first to let out a cold laugh. Wife, surely you haven't forgotten. It was you who used a specially made iron chain to tie Ling Rui up in the room, giving him neither food nor drink, wanting to enjoy watching him gradually turn beast-like. Could it be that after falling into the water, you not only became blind and mute, but also lost your memory? Hearing the increasingly frantic roars beside her ears, Jiang Mayan could already imagine Ling Rui's suffering. No time to deal with Pei Zhaoxing. She followed the body's memory, scooped a bowl of water, and opened Ling Rui's door. The berserk beast man had completely lost reason. There was danger of being torn apart, bitten, and swallowed at any moment. Pei Zhaoxing had no time to stop it. The ferocious beast had already opened its huge maw to devour Jiang Mayan. Jiang Mayan wasn't unaware of Pei Zhaoxing's warning. But at this critical juncture, she still steeled herself and approached. The next second, her flesh was caught by sharp teeth. Jiang Mayan only felt a slight pain. They were human teeth. And the bite was very gentle. Ling Rui had already returned to his original form. Only some beastly characteristics remained. Realizing he was no longer dangerous and meant no harm, Jiang Mayan's lips curled up slightly. She raised her hand and couldn't help but pat his head. So cute, with short ears and a long tail. But she didn't know what had angered this newly calmed beast husband. Her chin was suddenly seized by a large hand. Ling Rui seemed to finally be clear-headed. Jiang Mayan, what are you saying? How do you plan to torment me this time? Why not just give me a quick end? As if suddenly realizing something, Ling Rui looked at the female in disbelief. She hadn't spoken just now. Why did her voice echo in his mind? Seeing Ling Rui's expression, Pei Zhaoxing guessed they had encountered the same strange phenomenon. He stepped forward and pried open Ling Rui's rough hands. The wife master fell into the water today and injured herself. She has become blind and mute. Let her go change clothes first. She's mute? Ling Rui raised his voice. I clearly heard just now. It was the wife, master, who saved you earlier, signaling him to show more respect toward his lifesaver. After Jiang Mayan returned to her room to change, Pei Zhaoxing explained the current situation to Ling Rui. We may have awakened a mind-reading ability, but it only works on her. Effective within 3 feet. Ling Rui snorted, then I'll definitely stay far away from her. What lousy ability. I don't even want it. Ling Rui's limbs were still chained. He bossed Pei Jiao Xing around without courtesy. Get me some water to wash off the smell on me. Ling Rui awkwardly explained. That vile female must love that duck hand so much. Today, to seduce him, she even deliberately put on such heavy powder. Earlier, he had lost his mind and ended up covered in the female scent, feeling extremely uncomfortable. Her aura today was indeed different. Pei Jiao Xing murmured. Perhaps it wasn't applied with powder, but was innate to her. Ling Rui scoffed. What nonsense are you talking? She has always carried a foul smell. Pei Jiao Xing pressed her lips together in thought and did not respond. Zhang Mayan changed into clean clothes and fell into a deep sleep. She dreamed of the car accident she experienced before death. She died on the spot. A quick death. But only after waking up did she realize something was off. If it was truly an accident, how could it have ended as what the system described as a tragic death? Zhang Mayan had never made enemies with anyone who would want to harm her. She couldn't figure it out, so she simply stopped pondering. After resting, her vision recovered somewhat. Zhang Mayan relied on her original memories to feel around. Suddenly, the system's voice rang out. Current latest data. Pei Jiao Xing's corruption value, 52. Ling Rui's corruption value, 73. Raven's corruption value, 92. Tu Shan Yi's corruption value, 40. Huai Jun's corruption value, 89. What's wrong with this Ling Rui? The host just saved his life, but his corruption value increased instead of decreasing. What's his problem? A masochist. Zhang Mayan sorted out the situation. He must not believe that I'm genuinely kind, thinking I have some evil scheme. It's fine, take it slow. He'll definitely change his view. The system whimpered a few times in distress. By the way, the corruption value reduced by Pei Jiao Xing has been converted into 1 point. Host, would you like to try exchanging it for a healing potion? It has a certain curative effect on blind teeth. Zhang Mayan shook her head instead. How many points? Purchase Ling Rui's chain key. She searched the entire house, but couldn't find it. The key mall cannot replicate the unique custom-made chain. There is only one key. It has already been thrown off the cliff by the original owner. Hearing this, Zhang Mayan actually recalled some related memories. She quickly drank the healing potion mentioned earlier, smoothly found her way to Pei Jiao Xing, held his hand and wrote, Please take me under the cliff. Wife, what are you going to do under the cliff? Zhang Mayan pointed at Ling Rui inside the house. You go find the key. Pei Jiao Xing was stunned. The cliff is hundreds of feet high. Things thrown down would be gone without a trace, even if not washed away by the river. All disappeared without a trace, not to mention something so small. The two stood outside the room. Ling Rui took everything in. You must be crazy to believe her nonsense. She definitely wants to use my name to torment you. Even with the best temper, one can't endure such misunderstanding. Zhang Mayan felt like she had become a mute who ate bitter herbs, unable to speak of the bitterness. She stared at Ling Rui for a few moments, turned and left without any warning. She is angry. Ling Rui wanted to rush after her, but was trapped in place by the chains. Pei Jiao Xing frowned. Whether true or false, she also intended to help you. What kind of potion did she feed you? Speaking up for her so much today. The wife master has already apologized to me. Pei Jiao Xing waited all night yesterday, but never felt Zhang Mayan's whip strike. Maybe she really has changed, forgiving her over a flimsy apology. Are you even a man? Have you forgotten how she humiliated us before? Pei Jiao Xing looked at him discontentedly. I'll follow and check. I've left your food by the door. This was also instructed by the wife master. She sincerely wants to help you this time. Ignoring Ling Rui's reaction, he transformed into his beast form and chased in the direction Zhang Mayan had left. Zhang Mayan has no beast form. Normally, he should have caught up in a few steps, But he searched for a long time and still didn't see any sign of Jiang Mayan. Holding onto his last hope, he returned home, but only found Ling Ruo there alone. Zhao Xing, of course, didn't know that the moment Jiang Mayan stepped out, she had already arrived by the river below the cliff. Thanks to his newly reduced corruption value, which gave Jiang Mayan another 5 points, she exchanged them for a teleportation item. She then used her last points to get an item-finding tool. Soon, she sensed a familiar presence. The system said she was a soul transmigrator, but it modified this body to some extent during matching, such as sudden wisdom teeth and a completely different physique. The original body was truly, as everyone said, ugly in appearance and careless about cleanliness. As long as the host actively completes tasks, your appearance will revert to how you looked in your previous life. Jiang Mayan became much happier. Only by living with her own face did she feel truly present in this unfamiliar beast world. She was instantly filled with motivation. She carefully sensed the faint guidance brought by the item-finding tool. The key was beneath the rubble. Jiang Mayan didn't hesitate at all. She started digging with her bare hands. The original owner was a girl from a wealthy family, with delicate skin and tender flesh. Soon, her hands were covered in scratches, stains and traces of blood mixed together, seeping into the riverbank. Suddenly, a fierce wind blew. Jiang Mayan's movements froze. "System, what's going on?" "It's one of your beast husbands, Raven. You share a bone and blood bond with him. Whenever you are injured and bleed, he will come to your side." Jiang Mayan looked around, but couldn't see anyone. "Why hasn't he shown himself or helped me?" The system replied hesitantly. "This beast has the most peculiar temperament. His corruption level is the highest among your 5 beast husbands. Host, you'd better be careful." Jiang Mayan frowned deeply. Then she picked up a sharp stone and slammed it heavily against her chest. Suddenly, a massive black shadow flashed in front of her. In an instant, the stone was knocked away. The man stood tall and straight, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist. The black wings extending from his back exuded a mysterious and overwhelming sense of oppression. Raven had been forced out by her master. Host, Raven has been a Zhang family slave since childhood. Unfamiliar memories were awakened. Jiang Mayan felt somewhat awkward around this beast husband. There are no slave names in the new era. Why is there no mention of his name in my memories? Raven has no parents and no name. He was only ever called Raven or lowly spawn. Jiang Mayan was startled. Just 2 words were enough to imagine the suffering he had endured. No wonder his corruption value is so high. Her heart ached with sorrow. So he was an orphan too? The female in front of him had vacant eyes and remained still for a long time. Perhaps her earlier act of self-harm was just to amuse herself at his expense. Then, upon seeing him, she felt disgust. He had known it all along. A trace of mockery flashed in Raven's eyes. Sensing what he was thinking, Jiang Mayan hurriedly grabbed his hand. She carefully wrote, stroke by stroke, "How about I give you a name?" She waited anxiously for his response, trying to make her goodwill seem less sudden. "There's no need for build-up, master. If you want to take your anger out on Raven, just do it directly." Jiang Mayan knew she couldn't clear the original owner's sins overnight. She sighed silently. "Let's look for the key together. I'm sure it's under this pile of rubble." Raven obeyed. With a flap of his wings, a hurricane swept across the ground. Amid the rustling and shaking, a well-crafted key revealed itself. Jiang Mayan took it from his hand. It took a moment to snap out of it. So impressive. Had I known, I wouldn't have bothered with all that effort earlier. Raven let out an almost inaudible scoff. Being forced to hear her inner thoughts was nothing but an added annoyance to him. Such nice words were nothing more than sarcasm. When would she ever sincerely praise him? With the matter settled, Raven turned to leave. Jiang Mayan clutched him tightly, refusing to let go. "Take me home. Birds can fly." She intended to make the most of it. Raven explained in a flat tone. Master, have you forgotten? You personally broke my wings with your own hands. As a male beast of the flying kind, he couldn't even perform the most basic act of soaring through the sky. Those wings had become mere decorations, at most capable of flapping up and down to stir a breeze, like earlier. That's why he believed Zhang Mayan so impressive. Was an extremely cruel taunt. When Zhang Mayan arrived home alone, she caught the scent of meat wafting from the house. Just as she entered the courtyard, she heard Pei Zhao Xing hurrying over. Wife, you're finally back. Are you unharmed? Did Raven bring you back? Zhang Mayan shook her head, then nodded. To be precise, Raven called a flock of birds to airlift her back. Wife, eat something first. Pei Zhao Xing called back her focus, placing a plate of roasted meat in front of Zhang Mayan. He then separately set aside a portion to give to Ling Rui. Zhang Mayan felt her way along the wall, walking toward Ling Rui's room. She pulled something from her bag and held it out before Ling Rui. The chain key lay intact in her palm. The surroundings instantly fell silent. The two male beasts present seemed unable to believe that she had actually retrieved the key from beneath the cliff. Ling Rui instinctively felt suspicious. What do you mean by this? The smile on Zhang Mayan's lips gradually faded. These guys are really hard to communicate with. It's like bullying a mute. She casually shoved it toward Pei Zhao Xing, turned and returned to the dining table to sit down, leaving only the wolf and the lion staring at each other in confusion. Ling Rui's body was locked in multiple places. It took Pei Zhao Xing quite a while to unlock them one by one. Zhang Mayan's inner thoughts, in the quiet room, emerged one after another. Is Ling Rui not right in the head? Or does he just have a pure persecution complex? What a headache! How does a mute communicate with a blockhead? Ling Rui's face flushed red with stifled anger, but he didn't make a sound. Pei Zhao Xing asked calmly about the details. Wife, did you really go beneath the cliff today? Zhang Mayan nodded. She did not intend to explain the entire course of events. Only then did Zhao Xing notice the numerous wounds on the back of her hand. They had been completely covered by her sleeves earlier. He hadn't noticed them at first. His voice softened involuntarily. After finishing the meal, I will apply medicine for you. Zhang Mayan hesitated slightly. Having been here for 2 days, only his corruption value was steadily decreasing. Actually, you can sense it. Pei Zhao Xing's attitude has already shifted, but she still doesn't dare to agree easily. No matter how small the number, the underlying emotion is still dominated by hatred. To be safe, she still tries to avoid being alone with the beast husbands, lest she accidentally sets someone off and loses her life here. I'll go. Ling Rui suddenly stood up. After all, it's for me. I'll go look for the medicine now. Zhang Mayan quickly nodded. Her eyes curved gently, but she thought to herself, it's not for you. It's clearly for my own little life. Ling Rui felt a bit guilty. Indeed, if he were to go berserk, his remaining obsession would definitely make him tear her apart first. One way or another, it would count as mutual destruction. With his thoughts in chaos, he rummaged through the boxes and cabinets, but he couldn't find any ointment, just a pile of scrap metal. Zhang Mayan tugged at Pei Zhao Xing's hand. Are we very poor? Life has gotten much tighter after being exiled. It shouldn't have been this hard to get by. But doesn't the wife herself know? Ling Rui has been imprisoned for almost a month. He still doesn't know the state the house is in. He just threw up his hands and gave up. You said your food, clothing, and daily necessities must meet the same standards as back in the central city. Most of the family's money was spent on buying those things you needed. Later, you took a liking to the clan leader's daughter's maid and insisted on giving her all kinds of expensive gifts, even selling Huijin to the drunken immortal pavilion. By now, he's probably become their top attraction. After all, he is a prince of the Deep Sea Kingdom. To receive such treatment during his first diplomatic marriage with us Jiang Mayan was on pins and needles. The original host's evils were too numerous to record. Even with the skill to mend the heavens, she couldn't fix them all one by one. Pei Jiaoxing softly smoothed things over. Let's eat first. Tomorrow, ask the neighbors for some ointment. Jiang Mayan listlessly propped her chin in her hand. Saving the troubled young prince from a foreign land is urgent. It seems I need to find a way to earn money. Who knows when we can buy Huaijin back? This thought made both beast husbands pause. Wife, don't worry. Pei Jiaoxing gently reassured. We both have some savings. Our monthly allowances are sent regularly from the central city. It's just that the journey is long. Sometimes there are delays. She is a noble female. No matter how harshly she treats them, she shouldn't need to worry about such things. Jiang Mayan couldn't agree. That won't do. Once debts are cleared, I will end the engagement with you. I must find a way to support myself. She had calculated the conversion of darkening points. The points were enough to repair her current disabilities. As for those meaningless love points, she wouldn't bother earning them. Only in these past few days did she truly realize. The original host's methods of humiliation knew no bounds. She no longer expects those beast husbands, after suffering all this, to still fall in love with her. She no longer insists on looks, wealth, or returning to the original world. Having a healthy body is enough to satisfy her. She will do her best to to prevent them from turning dark. First, to make up for the original body's mistakes. Second, to use the points to cure her blindness and muteness. Once the darkening value is reset to 0, she will definitely stay far away from these beast husbands. She needs to master more skills to secure her livelihood. They will be useful in the future. Pei Jiaoxing frowned almost imperceptibly. Did he hear wrong? What flashed through his mind just now was also her inner voice. Didn't she used to say that even if she died, they should die by her side? How could she be willing to let them leave? He withdrew his hand and gave Jiang Mayan a deep look. Ling Rui raised his eyebrows exaggeratedly. He looked at Jiang Mayan, hesitating to speak. The next second, a plate full of meat suddenly entered his view. Jiang Mayan pushed her portion in front of him. Her expression seemed to say, "You all eat more." Then she returned to her room. After a long while, Pei Jiaoxing finally snapped out of it. She used to refuse to share even a bite of food with us. But now, she pities us so much. It seems the wife master truly treats us sincerely. Ling Rui hesitated. Don't you think it's an act? How could someone change so drastically overnight? Lei Jiaoxing doesn't like to gossip too much about the wife master behind her back. At least now, we can coexist peacefully with her. Then I shall fulfill the duties of a beast husband. Well, tomorrow I'll hunt more prey. To improve the meals at home, Ling Rui devoured the remaining meat on his plate like a whirlwind. Lying on the stone bed, he enjoyed a good night's sleep for the first time in a while. Early the next morning, Jiang Mayan was busy by the firewood. Pei Jiaoxing hurried over. Wife, you needn't do such rough work. Besides, your eyes aren't well now. Don't hurt your hands. Jiang Mayan unceremoniously pushed him away. Pei Jiaoxing noticed something unusual about her. Has your eye condition improved, wife? Jiang Mayan didn't expect Pei Jiaoxing to be so perceptive. She couldn't help but smile faintly. Yet she still shooed him out of the kitchen. Pei Jiaoxing grew restless. The wife actually cares for us so deeply. Her eyes barely better, and she insists on cooking herself. Ling Rui looked at him with a complicated expression. You've probably already been poisoned by her. Absolutely insane. Pei Jiaoxing's face darkened instantly. You don't have to eat it. Ling Rui choked back his words. Fine, I won't eat it, then. I don't even care for it. While tension filled the air outside, the smoke in the kitchen gradually lessened. Jiang Mayan had finally mastered the use of primitive cooking tools, becoming more adept with practice. Last night, she exchanged all the points from reducing their two darkening values for healing potions. Her vision had improved significantly. I'm just seeing things a bit blurry. This makes things much more convenient. A bowl of broth is now complete. Jiang Mayan asked Pei Jiao Sing to help carry it over. The big snow wolf has thick, rough skin. He won't get burned. Looking at his wolf claws and beast ears, she suddenly felt an irresistible itch in her heart. They look so fluffy and seem really nice to touch. Pei Jiao Sing's ear tips twitched slightly. He glanced sideways at the female walking beside him. Suddenly, he lightly swayed his tail. Seemingly unintentionally, it brushed against the back of her hand. Jiang Mayan stiffened all over. What's going on? He must have done it accidentally, right? Must absolutely hold back. Can't touch it, or I'll be disliked. Her self-control is really impressive. Her inner thoughts are a whole basket full. Yet on the surface, she still maintains a gentle and calm expression. Her hands are also well behaved, not reaching out even once. Pei Jiao Sing's tail drooped. He actually felt a bit disappointed. The wife doesn't like beastmen with too much fur. That's why she prefers that snake she fed the passion fruit to. Could it be that after coming to the Zhongwei tribe, her preferences have changed as well? She didn't hesitate to empty the house, just to give gifts to that duck. Does this mean he also has a chance? The fur on his body is clearly more comfortable than that duck's. Besides, how can the flowers at home compare to the wild one's fragrance? If the wife likes it, she can touch it too. Pei Jiao Sing suddenly blurted out this line. Jiang Mayan raised her face in disbelief, with the embarrassment of being exposed, pretended to be angry and turned her head away. The corners of Pei Jiao Sing's lips curved slightly, continued to change the subject. What did the wife master make? It smells very fragrant. A big mishmash. Jiang Mayan slightly lifted her chin, impartially scooped out 3 bowls. Only when placing it in front of Lin Rui did she notice his strange expression. He had just said he wouldn't eat, worried that the wife master had poisoned it. Ling Rui's face was ashen, but he couldn't refute. Jiang Mayan nodded to show understanding. To show sincerity, she took a big sip first. She hadn't poisoned it. Pei Jiao Sing's heart was filled with countless emotions. Thank you, wife master. After just one sip, his dark eyes flashed with a hint of joy. This is the best food I've ever had since I was little. Jiang Mayan accepted the praise. Holding no grudges, she once again offered Ling Rui's portion to him. Ling Rui was too proud. Having firmly said he wouldn't eat, he couldn't yield. No need, thank you, wife master. I'll go scout the mountain first, to hunt more prey today. Before leaving, he couldn't resist. Looking back once, their interaction was close and natural. Ling Rui could sense the change in Pei Jiao Sing's attitude. While disdainful of his lack of spine, he also felt somewhat uncomfortable. Does he have to learn to please the wife master like Pei Jiao Sing? Only then can I live securely in this household in the future. Among these 5 beast husbands, his family isn't prominent, but is the warmest and happiest. He is a lion raised among a clan of cats. His adoptive parents are kind-hearted. He grew up surrounded by love, allowed to be openly himself. This fostered his current willful and unrestrained nature. Everyone says marrying Jiang Mayan is no different than walking a path to certain death. But Ling Rui feels grateful. The cat tribe is weak and marginalized. As a hybrid, he became the entire family's hope. Marrying the sister of the sacred female could bring promotions and nobility to the whole family. Ling Rui fantasized about being loved in his new home too. But what he ended up waiting for was only endless torment, such as beatings and scoldings. But now Pei Jiao Sing's actions show him the dead end now has a new solution. To serve obediently by her side, they can coexist peacefully with the wife or even call off the engagement. But Ling Rui is unwilling. Should he really compromise himself to fit into a family and pretend to be someone even he doesn't recognize? After finishing breakfast, Pei Jiao Sing put all the bowls and utensils away. Before feeling assured enough to go out, Jiang Mayan is inwardly moved. She admires responsible people. If not for the mess left by the original owner between them, Pei Jiao Xing would definitely be a great life partner. There's still a bit of soup left. She intentionally set it aside for Du Ya. After parting at the edge of the world, she never saw Venom Fang again. She placed the cottonseed soup outside the courtyard, dressed neatly, prepared to find a way to make a living in the tribe. She took a quick stroll around the tribe, noticed a large open activity area at the center. Prime location, flat terrain. If utilized properly, it would be ideal for developing trade. Zhang Mayan thought it over. The food culture here hadn't yet flourished. A clear issue was the lack of oil in the food. For Zhang Mayan, who had been independent since childhood, it wasn't difficult. If Pei Jiao Xing and Ling Rui hunted some game today, the fat could be rendered for oil, and the meat could be made into jerky. Fresh eating methods would surely attract the people here. But her reputation here was poor. If she really wanted to start trading, just having her stand there would drive customers away. Zhang Mayan quickly made a decision. In the early stages, offer small portions for free, not for sale. Consider it inviting everyone to try samples, while restoring the original host's reputation. It would also have some promotional effect. Since she was starting a business, losing a bit upfront was no big deal. The more Zhang Mayan thought about it, the more motivated she felt. Fired up, she took mental stock, only to realize she was missing an essential item, a pot. The current beast world hadn't started casting iron yet. Only clay or bronze were available. Just as she was feeling a headache coming on, she suddenly heard a ding in her mind. Congratulations, host, for completing a hidden task. Successfully fed 2 beast husbands. Reward dropped, 1 iron pot. It's like sleep arriving just when you're sleepy. Handing over a pillow, Zhang Mayan instantly got excited. Any more? Of course. From the start, I said. Our rewards are generous. Plenty of benefits. Although hidden quests have no visible guides, the main quest tasks can be announced for you. The system cleared its throat. Spend a night with any beast husband. Receive a sincere confession from a beast husband. Zhang Mayan quickly called for a stop. She just wants to steadily finish the job. Guides are fine, but this kind of embarrassing, intimate contact can be skipped. Before forcing the system offline with her thoughts, she suddenly noticed a blind spot. Wait, you said I successfully fed 2 beast husbands? Ling Rui clearly didn't eat her food. A guess emerged. Could it be that Raven ate the soup I left by the door? Zhang Mayan was overjoyed. She hurried home, thinking she might just run into him, have a good chat, and push the progress. Then an unpleasant, duck-like voice sounded nearby. Zhang Mayan, stop pestering me. My bond with my wife is stronger than gold, and you can't possibly break us apart. Zhang Mayan's smile froze on her face. What the heck? Is he talking to her? It took a moment to realize. This was the male prostitute that the original host had forcibly taken. She narrowed her eyes and scrutinized him carefully. A very typical pretty boy. Stood out like a sore thumb among the rugged, brawny male beasts. To be fair, he, a married male, was harassed daily by the original owner. It was truly pitiable. But she hadn't provoked him today. Is this guy getting a little too full of himself? Adhering to the principle of avoiding unnecessary trouble, Zhang Mayan didn't want to engage, yet he kept on chattering incessantly. I know you're the esteemed second young lady of the Zhang family in Central City, with abundant assets. But even if you gift me the most precious gem-encrusted armor, I won't waver in the slightest. Zhang Mayan was stunned, speechless. Good grief, where did this gold digger come from? Trying to order off the menu here? In an instant, she figured it all out. The original owner was at fault. But this guy wasn't any good either. She could tolerate being scolded a few times, but not repaying debts was absolutely unacceptable. Thinking of all the gifts the original owner had given away, Zhang Mayan was furious, suddenly stepped forward and grabbed the guy by the collar. Pei Jiao Xing returned home laden with prey, but found no one at home. Since she left earlier than him, she shouldn't be this late returning. The wife had often been absent from home before, preferring to go to the river to find that male beast. Could it be that today? Pei Jiao Sing suppressed his emotions, then noticed the message Jiang Mayan had left with stones, saying she went out for a stroll. Immediately felt relieved. He tittied up a bit, and was about to go borrow some ointment from the ant next door. Suddenly, I saw Auntie rushing in from outside in a great hurry. Why are you still here? Your wife is about to forcibly marry a new husband. That duck's voice is almost hoarse from shouting. Go take a look quickly. Pei Jiao Sing suddenly realized. No matter how much Jiang Mayan has changed, she is still the same person as before. She said she wouldn't hurt him in the future, but she never agreed to cut ties with that duck beast. Does she really prefer that duck after all? She's even turning a blind eye to the already set wedding date. His expression turned cold. In a sincere tone, thank you for telling me, Auntie. Are they by the river? They were by the river just a moment ago. In the blink of an eye, they've moved to the wedding platform. You should go quickly. Jiang Mayan had confirmed with the system. This duck, like her, has a low-tier, water-based ability. He's also useless on the road. Looking at this pretty boy's short and frail appearance, in terms of strength, he probably isn't her match either. Most importantly, he's cowardly. Based on this alone, Jiang Mayan dared to grab him by the collar and drag him out. What are you doing? Where are you taking me? The duck beast's face turned red with strain. Jiang Mayan turned a deaf ear, maintaining the silent demeanor a mute ought to have. She roughly dragged him to the tribal center's wedding platform. You want to forcibly marry me? This isn't proper etiquette, the duck beast said in a panicked tone. The Zhangwei tribe is impoverished and backward, but it still falls within the rule of the entire continental nation. Here, there are elders specially appointed to witness marriage contracts. They register each newlywed couple in the records. The sand beast wanted to escape, but Jiang Mayan twisted his arms behind his back. Elder, save me. I cannot marry such a domineering female. Jiang Mayan forced him to kneel on the ground and stepped on his back with one foot. The white-bearded old man stared suspiciously at Jiang Mayan for a long while. You're that girl from Central City. You want to take him as your beast husband. Ignoring the surrounding voices, Jiang Mayan nodded without changing her expression. The elder's brows were so furrowed they could crush a mosquito. But he already has a wife, master. According to the laws of this country, as soon as the words were spoken, the wife, master, he mentioned, arrived on the scene in a rage. This is Zhangwei, not Central City. We won't allow you, Jiang Mayan, to act recklessly here. Her leopard tail stiffened like a taut whip. Her amber vertical pupils fixed intently on Jiang Mayan, as expected of the clan leader. Her daughter makes an entrance with an imposing presence. Jiang Mayan clearly felt the duck beast beneath her foot tremble all over. Not with relief at his master's arrival, but with guilt. Her mind quickly pieced it together, and she immediately understood. Seems like he's been playing both sides, scamming one for money and the other for affection. Jiang Mayan gently curved the corners of her lips at Lai Ji. She intended to make a scene. The bigger, the better. Thanks to Lai Ji's shouting, most of the tribe's residents were drawn over. I'm warning you. Zhou Baiya is my beast husband. Don't you dare try to take him away. Jiang Mayan is notorious in Zhangwei. Lai Ji came this time prepared for a fierce battle. But she saw Jiang Mayan nod agreeably. The next second, he released the duck beast. Just like that, he agreed. Lai Ji's gaze held a layer of scrutiny. You know what's good for you. Zhou Baiya climbed up from the ground, covered in dust. Wife, look at my handsome face. It was almost ruined. Before the duck beast could flee to Lai Ji's embrace, Jiang Mayan grabbed the Hetian pendant hanging from his neck. Such a valuable ornament. Completely out of place in the Zhangwei tribe. Lai Ji frowned. Where did this come from? She never knew that Zhou Baiya, who was dirt poor, had the means to possess a jade pendant of this quality. Zhou Baiya trembled, unable to squeeze out a word. Things were finally getting back on track. With so many people present, Zhang Mayan obtained paper and pen from the elder, crossed out the 3 words marriage contract at the top, boldly rewrote it as debt IOU. The drama kept getting juicier. The villagers excitedly looked at the person involved. Zhou Baiya snatched the paper and pen from Zhang Mayan. Can't let her write anymore. Zhang Mayan's actions could be seen as harassment. But if everyone found out he had accepted more than just this, the nature of it would be completely different. Didn't she like him a lot? Why suddenly turn hostile? At this point, all he could do was stubbornly deny it. Do not slander me. I have never owed you anything. You are just trying to force me to submit by fabricating non-existent debts. He also knew that Zhang Mayan had become mute and couldn't defend herself. But he has a silver tongue and can twist black into white. Zhang Mayan, isn't it just that you want me to become your beast husband? Fine, I'll do it. I only beg you to stop causing trouble in the future and not to make things difficult for my wife. By the time Pei Jiao Xing arrived at the scene, the situation had already become one-sided. Everyone sympathized with Zhou Baiya's brave sacrifice and condemned Zhang Mayan for being unreasonable and tyrannical. He was stunned for a moment. So, his wife hadn't forcibly taken a new husband. They couldn't hear Zhang Mayan speaking, but he could. His pitch-black pupils regained their light. Pei Jiao Xing pushed through the crowd and suddenly grabbed Zhang Mayan's hand. Stop deluding yourself. My wife has no intention of marrying you. Today's actions are not about pestering you either. She is here to collect a debt. Please return what you owe. Zhang Mayan looked at Pei Jiao Xing with surprise and joy. Nodding frantically, she retrieved paper and pen, trying her best to recall, and listed all the treasures the original owner had given to Zhou Baiya during this period. A long list, unceremoniously shoved right in front of Zhou Baiya's eyes. The crowd was in an uproar. Their gazes toward Zhou Baiya instantly changed. So this duck has been pretending to be well-behaved in front of the wife. But then he accepts the kneeling salute from other females. Zhang Mayan opened her mouth to say something. Pei Jiao Xing tightened her grip on Zhang Mayan's hand, helping to express that repaying debts is a matter of course. If you don't believe it, you can go search his room. Each item can be matched to the list. Zhang Mayan, standing to the side, could hardly contain her urge to clap and cheer. This Pei Jiao Xing is just too awesome. How does he say exactly what she's thinking? It's like they share the same mind. Others might not recognize the value, but Lei Ji could tell. Just that Hetian black jade pendant alone is absolutely extraordinary. While Zhang Mayan is certainly at fault, Zhou Baiya is also not blameless. Such incidents happening within the tribe are truly shameful. As the chief's daughter, she should set an example. You, come with me. She turned to show the way for Zhang Mayan and Pei Jiao Xing, shooting a cold glance at Zhou Baiya's face. Lei Ji's expression was one of disappointment. She had taken pity on him before because he seemed pitiful and relatively obedient, which is why she softened her heart and accepted him as a beast husband. After spending so much time together, even raising a pet would have fostered some affection. Never expected he would turn out to be a handsome calamity. The situation reversed. Some people shamelessly followed and continued to gather outside the house to watch the drama. Zhou Baiya's room was small but packed full. After unearthing numerous treasures, Lei Ji's face turned ashen. What Zhang Mayan wrote was true. Zhou Baiya was unfaithful after marriage. Accepting gifts from other females and sending the wrong signals is an act of disloyalty. I want to divorce my husband, she declared loudly. Let everyone here bear witness today. Zhou Baiya was reduced to a discarded male. From then on, he was banished from the tribe, not allowed to set foot in our Zhangwei territory ever again. Zhang Mayan couldn't help but sigh. She originally thought she and Lei Ji were in the same boat. But now, it seemed not if money is cheated, there's a chance to get it back. But if feelings are cheated, it's all for nothing. A waste of true sincerity. Pei Jiaoxing followed the list Zhang Mian had written, packed everything up, but still left behind a few items that the porcelain beast could use. My wife says she offended you before. This is an apology gift. She will be more careful with her words and actions in the future, and not cause trouble for the tribe. Lai Ji had a straightforward personality, and did not refuse. We always judge the man, not the person. We look forward to peaceful coexistence in the future. Finally, she teased. You really married a good beast husband. He actually understands your thoughts perfectly. Zhang Mian also found it amazing. She just gave a look and an apologetic smile. He understood everything, holding the recovered gold, silver, and jewels as she headed home. Her emotions were turbulent for a long time. Never thought the original owner was so lavish when chasing a guy. The house was already in such a state of disrepair, yet she kept giving things away. Zhang Mian, who had been poor since childhood, learned for the first time that romance is so expensive. Indeed, one shouldn't mess with love. Pei Jiaoxing carefully pondered the meaning of these words. She doesn't like that duck beast anymore. What about the prince she once drugged with a love potion, Zhong Xincheng? Pei Jiaoxing pressed her lips together, wanting to ask several times, but ultimately held back. The mind-reading incident had already made Zhang Mian suspicious. Must not expose it. Approaching the doorstep, Pei Jiaoxing suddenly changed direction. Right, she hadn't borrowed the ointment from Auntie yet. Zhang Mian blinked and pulled her back, plucking a few wild grasses nearby. After crushing them, she applied the paste to the wound on her hand. Wife, this is only used when there's no other choice. It only temporarily stops the bleeding. Plants grown in the sparse vegetation at the end of the chapter can't heal injuries. Thinking that Zhang Mian had no special abilities, it was normal for her not to know these things. Pei Jiaoxing patiently explained. Halfway through speaking, something strange suddenly happened before their eyes. The wound on her hand was healing at a visible rate. Pei Jiaoxing held her hand and examined it closely, once again confirming that she had only picked the most ordinary nameless wild grass. What's going on? Zhang Mian herself was also pleasantly surprised, thinking this grass was extraordinary. She gleefully pulled out a bunch to take home and keep on hand. Pei Jiaoxing could find no reason to stop her. Could it be that the wife has a special constitution unknown to them? They returned home in silence. The yard was filled with many captured wild beasts. It seems Ling Rui also returned with a full haul today. Pei Jiaoxing keenly caught the scent of blood. After being locked up for a month, this lion is working so diligently. The prey is now being processed. Only upon entering the room did he realize. No, it's Ling Rui's own. Usually so weak, he can only transform into his beast form and curl up in a corner. He was covered in wounds. His originally clean and smooth fur was matted together with bloodstains. Exceptionally wretched. How did you end up like this? Don't mention it, Ling Rui said stubbornly. Haven't hunted into long, got a bit rusty. It won't happen again. Zhang Mian quickly stepped forward, making a move to lift him onto the stone bed. I don't need your help. After speaking, Ling Rui realized his attitude was too poor. He added in an awkward tone, don't dirty your clothes. I was thinking about Zhang Mian the entire day. I let my guard down for a moment and got ambushed. He still didn't know how to face her. You all tend to your business. No need to worry. These injuries of mine will heal in a few days. He also knew the family was poor and didn't even have money for medicine, let alone hiring a doctor or going to a clinic. Your injuries, while not fatal, also can't be left untreated. Pei Jiaoxing saw through his thoughts. Don't worry about the cost. The wife earned a lot of money today. Really? Ling Rui couldn't help but sit up straight. He wanted to ask more, but was given a dissatisfied glare by Zhang Mian. Nowadays, she doesn't hit or scold. It actually gave Ling Rui an impulse to submit. He sat properly and didn't move around anymore. Jiang Mayan pressed Ling Rui down onto the stone bed, still using that same extremely ordinary method from before. Crushed the herbs and applied them all over. Fortunately, I had gathered quite a bit earlier. Now, they came in handy. Pei Zhaoxing hesitated to speak. Remember, perhaps, those wild grasses could truly produce miraculous effects on Jiang Mayan. But with Ling Rui, it was a different matter entirely. He was pondering how to gently break the truth. In the blink of an eye, those wounds were mostly healed. Ling Rui's pain had eased considerably. Where did you buy this miraculous medicine? Pei Zhaoxing explained in a complex tone. You've seen it before. The weeds on the path in front of the door. Ling Rui made a face as if he'd seen a ghost. But he didn't have the mind to dwell on it. Only feeling a gentle energy entering deep through the window, soothing and just right. He couldn't help but close his eyes and carefully savor it. Jiang Mayan kept her head down and worked hard, diligently treating the wounds all over Ling Rui's body. Unconsciously, she moved closer and closer to him. Ling Rui swayed his long corpse tail, rubbing it against Jiang Mayan's waist again and again. Suddenly, he blurted out, "Wife, you smell so good." As soon as the words left his mouth, he himself was quite startled. Hearing this, Jiang Mayan jumped up directly. Possessed by a ghost? If she remembered correctly, this was the first time Ling Rui had ever properly called her wife. He usually says nothing, but when he does, it's astonishing. How could he suddenly say such a thing? Jiang Mayan tossed the pounded herbs to Pei Zhaoxing. Her ears burning, she rushed out of the room. Pei Zhaoxing reluctantly took over. He had certainly heard what Ling Rui said. Males understand males best. He could easily imagine what Ling Rui was fantasizing about. He stated a fact displeasedly. You're getting hot for your wife. Being bluntly exposed. Ling Rui completely lost his temper. Lost control for a moment. It won't happen again. Pei Zhaoxing held back his emotions and worked quietly. Only, he continued, imitating Jiang Mayan's technique, merely stopped the bleeding of the wound. The healing effect was better than nothing. Ling Rui grimaced and cried out in pain. When our wife applied the medicine earlier, did you sense any special abilities? After thinking carefully, Ling Rui shook his head. Our wife is still a powerless, useless female. But there was a very mysterious energy that flowed into my body. I could feel it originated from our wife herself. Different from special abilities. It doesn't require any effort to cultivate. Just like the scent on her. It blends seamlessly with our wife. So what's truly divine isn't the weeds themselves, nor is it the method of handling, but that Jiang Mayan can turn thee into the miraculous. He had never heard of such an absurd thing before. After working all day, Jiang Mayan was so tired she fell asleep as soon as her head hit the pillow. When she opened her eyes again, the sky was barely light. The aroma of meat already wafted from the kitchen. She shook her head and got up to take a look. Pei Zhaoxing is simmering soup. Though clumsy, he's learning with decent form. He can manage after just one look. Truly a gifted, high-level beastman. What surprised Jiang Mayan even more was Ling Rui was also helping nearby. Ingredients were sliced into small pieces by his sharp claws. She stepped forward to check Ling Rui's wounds. Ling Rui was too embarrassed to lower his head and look at her. He had noticed Jiang Mayan long ago. That scent of hers was too alluring. He could always catch it immediately, but he didn't expect her to come over suddenly and get so close. Jiang Mayan had already forgotten last night's awkwardness. Focused intently, she checked the areas she had treated with herbs, mostly healed. But there was another set of wounds entirely opposite in condition. They looked bloody, as if left untreated. Jiang Mayan poked Pei Zhaoxing's side. Anxiously, she showed those wounds to him. Did he ask you to help treat the rest? Wife, I applied all those herbs, but they had no healing effect. I can only trouble you to apply medicine for me again. Zhang Mayan blinked in confusion, not understanding the logic. Does this mean Pei Jiaoxing's treatment didn't work? But hers would. Pei Jiaoxing added that indeed it was so. You might have a special energy stone inside your body that can make these wild herbs have a healing effect. Zhang Mayan only half understood and was still a bit dazed. Ling Rui emphasized, so I'll have to trouble you to apply the medicine for me again. You only need to say the same thing once. Pei Jiaoxing's tone carried a hint of anger. Your wife will definitely help you, provided you watch your mouth and stop saying offensive things. He put out the fire and ladled out the soup. Let's eat first. Wife, taste what I made and see if there are any shortcomings. Just judging by appearance, Pei Jiaoxing has already learned 70% of Zhang Mayan's skills. Zhang Mayan politely drank a large sip and quickly gave a thumbs up. The taste is good too. Ling Rui had just been snapped at by Pei Jiaoxing. He originally wanted to retort a few words, but still couldn't resist the temptation of the food. He who receives a favor is in a weak position. He gulped down a large bowl and didn't bring up the earlier matter again. He had never tasted such delicious meat soup before. Pei Jiaoxing's version was already very fragrant. He truly couldn't imagine how exquisite it would be if the wife made it herself. Ling Rui smacked his lips and sighed in regret, but felt too embarrassed to ask Zhang Mayan when she would showcase her skills again. The three quickly finished eating. Zhang Mayan, like yesterday, left a bowl outside the courtyard for Raven. It rained today. The two beast husbands weren't going out to hunt. She also planned to make lard and jerky at home. Waiting idly for gains unfortunately didn't bring him. Zhang Mayan was full of motivation. She picked out all the remaining pork at home. I'll do it. Pei Jiaoxing hurriedly stepped forward, still cutting it into chunks. Having someone help is even better. Zhang Mayan gestured with her hands to show the size. Feel free to let him do it. Ling Rui started working, and Zhang Mayan raised her hand to stop him. She also picked some wild grass from outside the yard to apply medicine on him. Regarding the special energy the two had just mentioned, Zhang Mayan was half convinced and half doubtful. She asked the system. The system also knew nothing about it. It could only confirm that the original host did not possess such an ability, meaning it was something she brought along. But Zhang Mayan had been an ordinary person her whole life. Time travel was the strangest thing she had ever encountered. Host, don't overthink it. A way to protect yourself is a good thing. She nodded, focusing intently on treating Ling Rui's wound. This time, it was daytime. Her vision was much clearer, and her movements were much quicker. Ling Rui looked at Zhang Mayan as if he wanted to say something, but hesitated. After a long while, he finally lowered his head. Stammering, he said, "Thank you, wife master." Zhang Mayan looked up in surprise, almost thinking there was something wrong with her ears. Ling Rui actually had such a docile moment too. At the same time, the system announced, Ling Rui's blackening value decreased by 5. After their brief time together, Zhang Mayan also knew that this golden-haired one wasn't bad by nature. He was just more guarded than others, preferring to disguise himself with a tough exterior. Clearly, he had been badly harmed by the original host. She couldn't help but reach out and ruffle his golden hair. Once the blackening value is completely reset to 0, I'll let you all go. I hope my eyes can recover quickly. At least remember your faces before we part. Ling Rui was stunned, even forgetting to tidy his disheveled fur. What is this darkening value thing? The clearing of debts you mentioned earlier, wife? Does it refer to this thing? By then, the engagement can be called off. He smiled in anticipation. But after curling his lips, he felt a bit unsettled. He didn't understand what emotion was surging in his heart. Suddenly, he heard Pei Jiaoxing calling out beside him. I think I accidentally hurt my hand. Could I trouble you to come take a look, wife? After spending some time together, Zhang Mayan knew these beast husbands weren't bad by nature. She reached out and patted the golden lion's head. Once the darkening value is completely reset to 0, I'll let you all go. Ling Rui felt somewhat expectant, but also a bit unsettled in his heart. Suddenly, Pei Jiaoxing called out beside him. I think I accidentally hurt my hand. Could I trouble you to come take a look, wife? How did you hurt your hand out of nowhere? Zhang Mian, puzzled, moved closer. There was a very shallow cut on Pei Jiaoxing's knuckle. After briefly tending to it, she stayed by his side to keep him company. Smiling subtly, he curled the corner of his lips. Moments later, he suddenly frowned. Wife, there's sweat on my temple. Zhang Mian hurriedly wiped it clean with a fresh handkerchief. Her eyesight was poor, so she inevitably leaned in a bit closer. She had never observed Pei Jiaoxing from such a close distance before. She was momentarily stunned. I had always known about the original host's 5 beast husbands. Yet, this was the first time she clearly saw Pei Jiaoxing's face. She carefully wiped the sweat from his temple. Unconsciously, she stared a moment longer before returning to a normal distance. Thank you, wife master. Zhang Mian didn't see Pei Jiaoxing's fleeting smile. She was still muttering to herself inwardly. He is really good looking. Ling Rui chuckled lightly nearby. His hands and feet were quick as he joined in, helping to cut the meat. Once all the pork was processed, Zhang Mian took out the iron pot rewarded by the system and started rendering the lard over a low flame directly. Ling Rui leaned over and said, Isn't this the material used for forging weapons? Wife master, where did you get it from? And you actually used it to create a cooking utensil. Zhang Mian occasionally felt grateful to be mute, using it as an excuse to avoid most questions. She pressed her lips into a smile and did not speak. Pei Jiaoxing's gaze deepened. Since falling into the water, not only had his wife's personality changed drastically, but she also had many more secrets. Even though he could hear her thoughts, he still couldn't understand many of the things she mentioned. He withdrew his gaze and stopped probing. Instead, he asked what his wife intended to do and how they could help. For such simple questions, Zhang Mian was still happy to explain. Render fat from the fatty meat for oil, and make jerky from the lean meat. She also asked Pei Jiaoxing to gather some plums and mustard greens nearby for seasoning. She then instructed Ling Rui to chop the firewood into small wooden sticks, to make it easier to skewer the meat for drying. A light rain was still falling outside, and the mountain path was slippery. Zhang Mian was worried about letting Zhaoxing go out alone. But there wasn't a single seasoning at home, so there was very little room to work with. It's fine, I'll set out now. The climate at Zhangwei had always been harsh. They had ventured out in worse wind and rain before, all because of her demand for cotton, or her wish to be guided, to find half-bloomed red flowers for making rouge. Such picky requests had happened repeatedly. The other beast husbands had long since refused and walked away. But only Pei Jiaoxing always followed her orders. His wife's command could not be disobeyed. Suffering a little was nothing to him. Pei Jiaoxing lost himself in memories. When he came to his senses, he realized Zhang Mian was tiptoeing to put a wide-brimmed hat on him. His gaze fell heavily on her face. It was still the same person as before. But recently, during their time together, it felt as if through this familiar face, he was looking at someone else. He gently held the hand that was adjusting his hat, and said with a smile, Wife, don't worry, I'll go and return quickly. Zhang Mian uneasily pulled her hand away from his, watching his thin figure clad only in animal hides. She made plans to go into the city in a few days to bring back her other 2 beast husbands. She would also buy new clothes and supplies for everyone. After that, she returned to the kitchen to continue rendering fat. Ling Rui was nearby, using his ability to chop firewood. Before long, the aroma of lard wafted through the air. Ling Rui couldn't help but say, It smells so good. Zhang Mian casually picked up a branch and wrote on the ground, This can be used for making all kinds of delicious food later. Today, I'll let you have a taste. Ling Rui was the most impatient. Yet forced to communicate in this inefficient way, he showed no signs of frustration. Does this mean, wife, you'll be cooking with your own hands later? Just the thought made him drool. If there's anything you need me to do, just give the order. Jia Mian clapped her hands together, set aside a piece of meat for Ling Rui to mince, and began rolling out dumpling wrappers herself. By the time Pei Jiao Xing returned home, the basic seasonings were also ready. Jia Mian wrapped the dumplings one by one into ingot shapes. Pei Jiao Xing quickly got the hang of it by imitating her. Ling Rui's filling started leaking even before his dumplings hit the pot. Jia Mian couldn't stand watching any longer. She placed her hand over his fingertips, personally guiding him. Ling Rui didn't dare to even breathe heavily. She smells so good. Why does my wife smell so incredibly good? Jia Mian remained focused, concentrating on teaching. But the student looked dazed, as if he had gone stupid. In a moment of frustration, she rapped him on the head. Emotions flared up. She didn't control her strength. Unconsciously, she hit him extremely hard. Jia Mian realized it belatedly. Her pupils suddenly lost focus. Crap, why did I hit him? Ling Rui turned his face away and walked out. I'm thirsty, going to drink some water. Jia Mian felt like crying but had no tears. She punched her own thigh in regret. Will his darkening level rise again because of this? But the system's mechanical voice suddenly popped up. Congratulations, host. Ling Rui's darkening level has dropped by 1 point. Jia Mian couldn't figure it out, no matter how hard she thought. After being hit, not only did Ling Rui not get angry, his darkening level actually decreased by 1 point. But she didn't dwell on it. Instead, she repeatedly warned herself inwardly. In the future, she must restrain her words and actions. She couldn't be like the original host, who used to beat and scold them. These beast husbands may seem submissive to her, but if they truly darken, taking her life would be a matter of minutes. After calming down for a while, her heart finally settled. Noticing that Pei Jiao Xing beside her was also out of sorts. Just a moment ago, the wrapping was clearly done very well. How did it become so messy after just a short while without attention? The technique has become this terrible. So she treated everyone equally. Personally stepped in to help. Indeed, the wife's hands are nimble, wrapping both quickly and skillfully. The student is much more obedient than the previous one. Jia Mian handed the remaining dumplings over to him. Under his astonished gaze, she began flipping the wok and stirring with the spatula. She stir-fried one dish after another. The aroma even drifted next door, tempting the neighbors' cravings. After the incident at the wedding stage last time, everyone became aware of Zhou Baiya's true nature. Jia Mian transformed from the perpetrator into the victim. People's attitudes toward her subtly softened. But changing perceptions isn't an overnight matter. They still maintained a relationship of mutual non-interference. Even if they were starving, they wouldn't ask her for food. And Jia Mian was completely unaware of this. She plated 3 dishes from the wok: braised eggplant, stir-fried beef, and greens cooked in lard. Ordinary home-style dishes. But in the beast master continent, they were still quite extraordinary. This time Ling Rui truly believed it. The wife that Pei Jiao Xing spoke of had really changed. Not only was her personality more approachable, but she also possessed so many impressive skills. Could it be that the wife had been hiding her abilities before? The 2 male beasts were experiencing such flavorful food for the first time. Their desire to eat was much stronger than before. Jia Mian couldn't help but laugh. While telling the 2 in her heart to eat slowly, she added dumplings to the pot. It was the first time the 2 had eaten dough wrappers filled with stuffing. Their eyes simultaneously flickered with delight. Their wife actually managed to make such ordinary ingredients taste so delicious. Jia Mian squinted happily. Yet her joy was faintly mixed with unease. The entire morning passed, and Raven still hadn't appeared. The breakfast and lunch she had set aside remained untouched. In the past 6 months mentioned at the end of the chapter, Pei Jiaoxing and Ling Rui hadn't eaten anything good. After having a full meal after so long, their energy and spirit were completely different. Zhang Mayan's attitude also became more affectionate. "Wife, if there's anything you want to do, just tell us." Zhang Mayan wrote down the troubles in her heart. There was still a lot of meat left. It spoils easily if kept for too long. She originally intended to turn it all into jerky, but she overlooked the weather. The temperature dropped suddenly this morning. The overcast and rainy conditions are likely to persist for a long time. Zhang Mayan had a real headache looking at the pile of meat in the corner. "I will store this meat properly. Wife, don't worry about waste." After saying this, Pei Jiaoxing opened the cellar and began working on an underground ice storage. Zhang Mayan blinked her eyes in pleasant surprise. Mai Jiaoxing's supernatural ability is of the ice and snow type. In an extremely cold place like Zhangwei, it actually becomes more effective. Ling Rui pulled Zhang Mayan a little farther away. "Be careful of catching a chill." His hand touched hers and immediately pulled back. After saying this, he took a big step to stand on the other side. As if a great divide had been set between him and Zhang Mayan stared at him suspiciously for a moment. Ling Rui seemed to be deliberately avoiding her gaze. Only his flushed ears were visible. She wondered what his problem was this time. She withdrew her gaze and continued watching. Pei Jiaoxing used her ability. She was soon astonished. The cellar was instantly covered in a layer of ice. Storing any amount of meat was no longer an issue. She breathed a sigh of relief and set aside the idea of making jerky for the time being. Then she also placed the freshly rendered lard in the ice cellar to chill. This should be enough for them to use for over half a month. They could even spare some to give to the neighbors. After finishing these tasks, she finally decided to return to her room to rest. However, she specifically instructed Pei Jiaoxing to wake her once the rain stopped. She wanted to go out to pick mushrooms. Outside the door, Pei Jiaoxing and Ling Rui stared at each other. Both were rooted to the spot by her words. Ling Rui asked doubtfully, "Does she mean those poisonous mushrooms on the mountain?" Pei Jiaoxing responded with the complicated expression, "Yes." Ling Rui's heart sank once again. What does she want with those poisonous things? It's hard not to think she wants to poison them. He had just begun learning how to be a proper beast husband. Was she already revealing her true nature so soon? The wife wouldn't do that. Pei Jiaoxing said sternly, "Don't make wild guesses." Ling Rui didn't want to believe it either. But what other possibility was there? How can you still stay so calm? It's downright unbelievable. If she really poisons you and tells you to eat it, would you still eat it? Pei Jiaoxing nodded. The wife's orders cannot be disobeyed. What if she reverts to her old ways and starts beating and scolding us again? Pei Jiaoxing remained expressionless. As long as the wife is happy. Ling Rui gritted his teeth. "I see you aren't holding out hope for canceling the engagement at all. Because you never planned to leave in the first place." Pei Jiaoxing felt Ling Rui's questions were unnecessary. Why would he leave? Whether in the past or now, he had imagined being tortured to death by her. He had imagined ending it together. But he had never considered canceling the engagement. "My clan is destined to guard the sacred shrine for generations." Among the many branches of the Wolf clan, their Pei family stands out for their tenacious influence. All of this is thanks to the protection of divine miracles. Thus, he is guided by the gods to protect the prophesied holy female. For thousands of years, loyal and devoted to his wife master, a worthless female with no rank or ability. Could she also be someone the divine miracle intends to protect? Pei Jiaoxing spoke in a defensive tone. Even if the wife master is foolish, she comes from the holy female's lineage. Naturally, she will be protected by our clan. Moreover, we are already the wife master's beast husbands. Do not entertain those improper thoughts. If the wife master heard what you just said, it would surely upset her. Ling Rui was annoyed hearing him lecture. Jiang Mayan has not appointed a principal husband. When they married into the family, their status was equal. Yet Pei Jiaoxing always acts like the first wife. Ling Rui remained silent for a long while. Pei Jiaoxing also did not want to prolong the discussion. A wolf has only one mate in its lifetime. He looked over with a calm gaze. No matter what happens in the future, I will never leave the wife master. Do as you please. Ling Rui raised an eyebrow slightly. He knew Pei Jiaoxing said this without any real emotion. After all, he is the young master of the Pei family, adored by many. It's unlikely that Jiang Mayan's recent small favors would make him genuinely fond of her. Merely due to ingrained traditional beliefs, he goes to such lengths. Ling Rui simply couldn't imagine it. So stubborn-minded. He and Pei Jiaoxing are different. If there really was a chance to call off the engagement, he would definitely break free from Jiang Mayan's clutches immediately. About 2 hours later, Pei Jiaoxing knocked on Jiang Mayan's door. Jiang Mayan was a light sleeper and woke up as soon as she heard his footsteps. She quickly composed herself, picked a large backpack, and set off up the mountain. Both beast husbands obediently followed. The humidity in the mountain forest was high after the rain, making the mushrooms grow faster. Jiang Mayan pushed aside the fallen leaves, and the grass was full of mushrooms that had just sprouted. Every one she found was a hit. Since her transmigration, she had rarely felt a sense of achievement. These mushrooms were the first pot of gold she had discovered through her own efforts since coming to this continent. Jiang Mayan tirelessly harvested these treasures. Ling Rui didn't understand her excitement at this moment. On their second day in Zhongwei, someone had died from poisoning after eating these alone. Since he had followed her here, of course, he intended to help his wife. But remembering how that person died, Ling Rui really couldn't bring himself to do it. Let's pick them together. Pei Jiaoxing, who had been silent all along, finally spoke. Don't worry, you won't die from just touching them. So you know these things are poisonous too. He really wanted to ask Raven for advice right now on how to make his wife dislike him. Pei Jiaoxing's expression shifted slightly, but he did not respond. His mental energy is somewhat disordered. His special ability is temporarily suppressed. No matter how aggrieved Ling Rui felt, he accepted his fate. When he acted, his earth-based ability resonated strongly with the ground. With just a few casual moves, he harvested large patches of mushrooms. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Mayan saw the basket was already filled to the brim. Wow, Ling Rui is so amazing too. Ling Rui couldn't help but let the corners of his mouth lift. But once he remembered these mushrooms were meant to poison them, he couldn't smile anymore. Let's finish picking and hurry home, Ling Rui urged in a sullen tone, thinking to himself, the sooner we die, the sooner we're free. Jiang Mayan rummaged through the basket for a moment. Her expression gradually turned grave. She picked out a spotted, colorful mushroom, her face changing drastically. She flung it far away with a swing of her arm. She wrote on the ground with her bare hand, "This mushroom is highly toxic." Ling Rui was puzzled. Aren't all of these in the basket poisonous? Didn't you gather these to kill us? Nonsense. Jiang Mayan lifted her face anxiously, knowing she couldn't explain clearly. She clenched her mud-stained hands and stopped arguing. Why would I pick poisonous mushrooms for no reason? Lately, besides accidentally hitting his head, I haven't harmed him at all. No matter how wrong she felt, she could only scream inwardly. Jiang Mayan kept her head down and checked if the remaining mushrooms were toxic. Realizing he had wronged his wife, Ling Rui was completely thrown into disarray. He half knelt, his voice weak. I didn't know. Jiang Mayan paid no attention. Picked out more than half from the back basket, continued deeper into the mountain forest. Ling Rui caught up. I was wrong. How about my wife punishes me with a beating? I beg you. He panicked and tugged at Jiang Mayan's clothes. Jiang Mayan wanted to shake off Ling Rui beside her. Noticed something. Suddenly shouted a low warning. His arm clamped like an iron vice, pulling her back. Wife, be careful. A giant wolf with bared fangs pounced from behind a tree, swooshing through the air straight toward Jiang Mayan. Ling Rui quickly shielded her. Sharp claws pierced the wolf's neck. The beast didn't even have time to cry out before it went silent. Really asking for death? Can't you see I'm here? Ling Rui turned to check on Jiang Mayan, but saw her shudder. A very thin silver light grazed the back of her neck. Looked closely. The nearby tree trunk was stained with dark purple fluid. Where did these scoundrels come from? Ling Rui's pupils constricted sharply. Only then did he realize dozens of black-clad beastmen were ambushed in the dense woods. In an instant, the black-clad beastmen grew restless. Ling Rui wiped the venom from Jiang Mayan's neck. These clueless morons, daring to sneak, attack, and bully my master right under my nose. Fortunately, Ling Rui activated his ability. An earthen wall burst from the ground, enclosing Jiang Mayan on all sides. Then he engaged with dozens of assassins. Ling Rui hates her so much. Jiang Mayan thought he would abandon her and leave. I never expected that in such a critical moment. He would still be willing to shield her. She forced herself to stay calm, plucking a handful of wild grass to treat her wounds. At the very least, she must not become a burden. Don't fight him. He is Ling Rui, the champion of all major training grounds in Central City. Remember, our target is only that ugly, worthless piece. They changed their strategy. While engaging Ling Rui to drain his stamina, they launched hidden weapons from all directions to break through the earthen wall. Rui cursed these treacherous scoundrels for their dirty tricks. He could only reinforce the wall layer by layer to protect Jiang Mayan. Pei Jiaoxing didn't catch up. The two of them couldn't hold out much longer. Host, be careful. By the time the system's warning was heard, a spinning dart was already close at hand. Jiang Mayan had no way to avoid it. But the expected pain never came. A thick vine accurately swept the dart away. Suddenly, the roar of a lion beast was heard. Jiang Mayan noticed Ling Rui was severely injured. Half his arm stained bright red with blood. Yes, he had just recovered from a major injury. His combat ability must have weakened. Jiang Mayan was anxious. In a moment of carelessness, she was ambushed by several hidden weapons. The vine swept many away for her. But one poisoned needle still grazed her cheek. Seeing her injured, Ling Rui flew into a rage. Countless earthen spikes erupted from the ground. A bunch of trash came all the way from Central City to die. I'll let you two be. Jiang Mayan's cheek stung with the burning pain. The moment she realized, blood was slowly seeping from her skin. Her tense nerves suddenly came alive. Just as expected, the moment the violent wind picked up, black feathers drifted down from the sky one after another. The beastmen, locked in battle, cautiously scanned their surroundings. Ling Rui curled the corners of his lips upward. The one who never does any work has finally shown up. As he spoke, the feathers filling the sky turned into sharp blades, flying at breakneck speed straight toward the vital points of those assassins. Raven shielded Jiang Mayan, spreading his thick, large black wings, blocking her entire view. Jiang Mayan only heard a series of agonized cries, and then the empty mountain forest fell completely silent. Are they all dead? Curious, Jiang Mayan peeked out from behind his wings. Ling Rui quickly scanned the area. One got away. I'll go after him. I'm going to find out whose lackeys they are. He was still injured, but Jiang Mayan couldn't stop him. She could only watch helplessly as Ling Rui left. Suddenly, only she and Raven remained. Thinking of his elusive, unpredictable nature, Jiang Mayan quickly grabbed his hand. But Raven remained calm, as if looking at a stranger. Master, hearing this form of address again, Jiang Mayan frowned unhappily. She began to write in his palm. So itchy. Raven was very uncomfortable with it. But he knew he couldn't move. If he disobeyed, she would take out his second bone. Don't call me by that name again. And thank you for your help earlier. Reading what she wrote, Raven seemed frozen in place. For a long time, he didn't respond. Jiang Mayan waved her hand in confusion, trying to snap him out of it. It wasn't me. Raven unexpectedly uttered a few words. I hadn't even made a move yet, and they were already dead. His feathers weren't stained with any of the assassin's blood. Someone had attacked before him, and in complete silence, had slaughtered everyone. Raven could confirm the attacker was a physical entity. Even another beastman. His ability was extremely powerful, spatial in nature. Perhaps the assassin Ling Rui was chasing now hadn't escaped either, but had been pulled into a spatial rift. Raven couldn't be bothered to explain all this. Most matters in this household didn't concern him. His only job was to be Jiang Mayan's loyal dog. There's malignant energy in these mountains. We should leave early. Raven, with a dark expression, extremely reluctantly, picked up Jiang Mayan's backpack for her. At this moment, he was deeply dissatisfied with Pei Zhaoxing's disappearance and Ling Rui's departure. If either of them were present, he wouldn't be needed for this. Master, he began, taking a step before stopping again, and gestured with his chin toward the treetops. Then let them take you back. Jiang Mayan looked in the direction he pointed. It was actually another flock of birds. As if aware they were being mentioned, they excitedly flapped their wings, circling around Raven. Jiang Mayan did not want to be airlifted again. Ignoring the male beast's resistance, he continued to hold his hand and write. Do you really dislike being alone with me that much? Raven's pitch-black pupils were bottomless. Aren't you the same? You said my beast form is ugly, calling it unlucky and forbidding me to appear during the day, lest I offend your sight. As he spoke, he stiffly pulled his hand from hers, clearly refusing to communicate further. Jiang Mayan sighed silently. No one noticed that behind the two of them, the withered grass previously dripped with Jiang Mayan's blood began to glow with a green light, showing faint signs of new life. Raven continued his transparent person act to the fullest, disappearing as soon as they entered the house. Jiang Mayan lowered her eyelashes dejectedly. There were still so many things she hadn't asked. Not only him, but Pei Zhaoxing was also nowhere to be found. She felt somewhat uneasy inside. After circling the room, she finally saw the note he left behind. Wife, Zhaoxing is unwell and will be away for a few days. System, he's not in good health? But another voice came from behind her. The full moon night is approaching. His mental energy is quite unstable. Ling Rui entered the door covered in wounds. Jiang Mayan stepped forward to help support him. Is it serious? How would I know about their wolf clan affairs? Ling Rui leaned against the stone bed, grimacing in pain. But he is also a high-ranking beastman. Of course, he can't be compared to those wild beasts outside that easily. Go berserk. Anyway, I've never heard of any wolf beast getting injured because of a full moon night. Jiang Mayan quietly watched him, helplessly adding, I was asking if these injuries are serious. Ling Rui was stunned for a long moment. His heart felt as if it had been struck by something very soft. His wife was concerned about him. The life and death battle earlier had invisibly changed many things. The tense, hostile atmosphere between the two had long since disappeared. Neither mentioned the matter of that basket. An indescribable emotion surged in Ling Rui's heart. He knew he could rely on his recent merit and honestly tell Jiang Mayan that he was in great pain. After being exiled, Ling Rui's quality of life plummeted. He was also strictly imprisoned for a full month. His combat ability was not what it used to be. Now, severely injured, his beast ears and tail were fully exposed. He was on the verge of reverting to his beast form, but he still stubbornly insisted it was nothing. Ling Rui didn't dare let Jiang Mayan treat him. It truly felt very comfortable and was very effective. But Jiang Mayan is just too good. He was afraid he might say something embarrassing again. Jiang Mayan didn't know what he was still worried about at this point. She wasn't even angry anymore, yet he was the one being awkward. She completely ignored his response. Plucking some grass from the yard, she directly applied medicine to him. Ling Rua noticed that this wild grass was different from last time. It seemed Jiang Mayan really had a special physique. As soon as this thought emerged, Ling Rua was startled. Could it really be that magical? He had never heard of such an ability. To avoid a repeat of last time's situation, Ling Rua kept talking to distract himself. Today's assassins came from Central City. The weapons they used were all laced with Ghost Face Pavilion's poison. It can cause a person's center body to rot and die. Fortunately, the wife's unique constitution prevented them from succeeding. Unfortunately, we didn't catch up with that survivor. Otherwise, I would definitely find out who was really behind this. Jiang Mayan nodded dejectedly. Her inherited memories are also unclear. I have no idea how many enemies the original owner had in Central City. Just how many enemies did she have? They went so far as to come all this way to kill her. They must have hated her so much. If that's really the case, life in Jiangwei won't be peaceful from now on, will it? Wife, don't worry. Ling Rua comforted awkwardly. The tribe's interior is still very safe. It's only because we went into the mountains today that they found an opportunity to strike. The god who manages the mountain spirits has been asleep for many years. I feel like the entire mountain's energy is very chaotic. Jiang Mayan nodded, not fully understanding. No wonder Raven said there was a sinister aura. After applying medicine to Ling Rua, she also treated the wound on her own cheek. She wasn't sure if it was just her imagination. She always felt Ling Rua's gaze held a bit of peculiarity when looking at her. Moreover, the frequency of him sneaking glances at her was unusually high. Jiang Mayan touched her face. Unable to understand why, wife's face has improved somewhat. Ling Rua explained stiffly. Jiang Mayan hurried to the bronze mirror to examine herself. It did seem smoother than last time. She couldn't help but guess it was due to the medicine she had just applied. The system's data search was practically smoking from overuse. Your healing talent for set blind teeth and disfigurement can only play a supporting role. The real reason is I've found. You have received affection points. Jiang Mayan suspected the system was confused. Those beastly fathers can't hate her enough. How could affection points appear out of thin air? Absolutely true. A total of 3 affection points. 2 of them are from me. The other one isn't from a target character and can't be identified. But this also shows, as long as it's contributed by someone around you, it's effective. Host can work on managing relationships in Jiangwei. Maybe you can even receive some from the village neighbors. That is a good line of thought. Jiang Mayan suddenly saw the light. You also have 2 affection points for me? Of course, I have feelings too. The host is so outstanding, worthy of being loved. Jiang Mayan was elated by the system's words. So, affection points don't have to come from the beastly husbands at all. Then we should find a way to reduce the darkening value and terminate the engagement as soon as possible. Jiang Mayan went to the kitchen with high hopes. Today, only half a basket of mushrooms had been picked when the backpack was attacked. But it was enough. She planned to make some fried mushrooms and crispy fried pork. Not only could they be served as snacks, but also given to the neighbors to gain some goodwill. Jiang Mayan got right to work. She hurried to the cellar to fetch the ingredients. The moment she stepped into the ice cellar, a chill rushed over her. She wondered where Pei Jiao Xing had gone, and what exactly would happen. Just as she was thinking, the items in her hand were taken by Ling Rua. His injuries weren't fully healed yet. Jiang Mayan hadn't actually expected him to do any work. But Ling Rua insisted, saying, "You told me to do it." Jiang Mayan couldn't help but glance at him a few more times. Is this the dependence and the suspension bridge effect? Never thought Ling Rui would be quite reliable. How come she never noticed before that he was quite masculine? Ling Rui couldn't help but wag his lion tail. Masculine, meaning he's the alpha among males, the beast among beast husbands. His wife is praising him. He tried hard to control his expression. Turning away, his ears turned red. Enough, no need to say more. Jiang Mayan blinked in confusion. Why tell a mute to shut up? On previous full moon nights, Ling Rui was also the one taking care of Jiang Mayan alone. To put it bluntly, he was the only one left to endure her abuse. But now it's different. Just helping out with some work. And even getting a lot of praise. It's something I wouldn't even dare to dream of. This bad female has really changed. But Ling Rui couldn't figure it out. After all, they had lived under the same roof for half a year. She didn't even know that Pei Jiao Xing wasn't affected by the full moon night. Had she ever paid any attention to them at all? Perhaps she cared about someone else. There was simply no room in her heart. Ling Rui carried 2 buckets of well water into the yard. Started cleaning the ingredients. Suddenly asked Jiang Mayan beside her, out of the blue. Do you know what time Zhou Baiya likes to play in the water? Jiang Mayan was baffled. What did such trivial matters have to do with her? She decisively shook her head, not noticing the male beast's upturned lips. The house only had flour. Jiang Mayan painfully spent 5 points to exchange for some starch. Her pockets were empty again. Host, if you're willing to actively complete those tasks, the rewards dropped will have everything you want. Jiang Mayan turned a deaf ear. In her view, those tasks that speed up the conquest are all underhanded methods. Hugging, kissing, solar terms, each one more embarrassing than the last. Without any feelings, how can there be physical contact? She only believes in sincerity for sincerity. Through the most proper interactions, become 3 good roommates with her beast husbands, so that when they part, it can be more dignified. Pour the cotton processed mushrooms and meat into the batter. Let it fully envelop. Ling Rui gritted his teeth. Wife, master, it was my fault for suspecting you of poisoning with mushrooms. I also shouldn't have always spoken disrespectfully to you. Recalling your scent in the quiet of the night was even more wrong. I will definitely control myself from now on. He blurted out a great deal in one go. Ling Rui clenched his fists, the corners of his eyes. His ears faintly flushed red, still angry. You might as well whip me like before. Or imprison me with chains. Please don't torment me with this living hell. His voice even carried a slight tremble. Brought the cotton closer to look. Only then noticed even his eyes were tightly shut. Is it that frightening? What is this little head thinking about all day? If you don't want to eat, you just don't want to eat. Why come up with a bunch of excuses and babble on? But looking up close, Ling Rui is actually quite good looking too. Jiang Mayan moved over to the stove. The sizzling sound instantly started. Ling Rui was staring blankly at all this. The things that were just filthy and disgusting. How did they suddenly look so appetizing? Jiang Mayan's thoughts drifted away. Raven wouldn't eat the things she made. Ling Rui wasn't willing to try either. Her only good buddy in life, Pei Jiao Xing, was nowhere to be seen either. So annoying, the system's angelic voice rang out. I'd like to eat it though. Just hate that I don't have a mouth. Host, how do you know how to do everything? Emotional support delivered. Jiang Mayan's movements became much more efficient. Of course, I'm not all powerful either. It's all thanks to your golden finger cheat ability. The biggest golden finger is you yourself. Overachievers always appreciate other overachievers. The system, which has always been proud, was completely won over by Jiang Mayan's charisma. It finally changed its mind. So what if the host is emotionally dense? Completing the mission doesn't necessarily require taking the initiative. Those beast husbands will eventually be attracted to the host and conquer themselves. In the midst of chatting with the system, Jiang Mayan had already fried a lot. She casually picked up a sausage. A crisp crunch sounded. So successful. Jiang Mayan's eyes sparkled as she looked at Ling Rui. He had been secretly watching for a long time. Their eyes met. He instantly felt guilty. If his wife was willing to let him eat, he wouldn't be stubborn about it. Ling Rui made up his mind. Unexpectedly, Jiang Mayan only asked him to split the bamboo tubes and pack all the miscellaneous items separately. He had clearly expressed that he didn't want to eat, so she wouldn't force him. Jiang Mayan thought considerately. The room was filled with a delightful aroma. Ling Rui was drooling with desire, but Jiang Mayan completely failed to notice his gaze. After packing these, she went out. "Master, what are you doing?" After some explanation, Ling Rui realized she was giving them to the neighbors. Initially, Jiang Mayan had single-handedly isolated everyone. Why suddenly give everyone food? Wasn't she afraid of getting beaten? Ling Rui was worried, so he followed her out. Jiang Mayan first knocked on the door of the ant next door. The ant was warm-hearted and had helped them a lot. Most importantly, the ant's family were wolf beasts. They also seemed affected by the full moon night. They hadn't gone out hunting in recent days. Jiang Mayan was sincere in her approach. She thought her kindness would be accepted, but was rejected. They had only eaten raw meat and never seen anything else. Upon hearing it was made from wild mushrooms on the mountain, their expressions instantly changed. "You offer poison as a gift? What are your intentions?" The ant waved her hand dismissively, pretending to close the door. Ling Rui held it firm, putting on an apologetic smile. "Auntie, my wife means well. These are definitely not poisonous, and they're quite delicious." After being imprisoned, he hadn't interacted with people from the tribe for a long time and had no idea. The auntie only recognizes Pei Jiaoxing's face. Ling Rui's words carried no credibility. "This stuff does smell really good. But Jiang Mayan is famously stubborn, to the point of starving." The auntie frowned sternly. "I'd rather starve to death." Ling Rui raised his voice. "If you don't believe me, I'll eat it for you to see." He'd been waiting for this moment. Finally, he could legitimately have a few bites. Ling Rui picked up a portion and poured it into his mouth. The meat was tender and juicy. Mixed with the crispy fragrance of the coating, it exploded in his mouth. As he shoveled more into his mouth, he mumbled indistinctly, "Wife? If they won't eat it, forget it. I'll lick it clean." "Absolutely won't waste your efforts, wife." Jiang Mayan watched the lion devouring food voraciously before her. She was furious. What on earth is Ling Rui up to? It's not like she's been starving him lately. Why does he look like a starving ghost? She felt like knocking his head again. But suddenly, the hem of her clothes was tugged by a very small force.